All right, everybody, looks like we're rocking and rolling, and we are also going to go live on Facebook because why not? Video is such a powerful tool these days. So going live on Facebook sounds like a really, really good idea. So let's get this showboat on the road. And thank you to everybody who is here today, and thank you for joining us on our Sassy Lasses video guide to success. You have no idea how excited I am to be doing this. And just remember, this is all about you. This is all about information, and this is all about helping you start your business off right, or give it a facelift. You never know. We're all at different stages. We're all at different phases, and we all need different things. But there's a lot of things that tie in, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. So without much ado, what I will go ahead and do here is I'm going to pop up my slides. You'll still be able to see beautiful little Omi in a little teeny weeny box. So please feel free to interact. Q&A, we've got a Q&A. Please feel free to ask questions. We're also going to have one at the end. So anything that I don't address live as we fly, we can address then. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And well, I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. Big thanks to Rescreen Consulting and to JB Liaison who helped me put this together. But let's get down to business. All right, share screen. I swear I know how to do this, so just bear with me. There we go. And there we go. Let's just get this going. So, welcome everybody. This is our video guide to startup success. And I want to say hi. I'm Sasha Brandt, and I'm the owner-operator of Sassy Lasses. We're a virtual office and creative agency. So this is where I get my information. If you want to learn more about me, I'll give you the chance to go and find that later. But I will keep to my word. It is exactly what I promised. This is about the information. So plain and simple information. So quick and dirty about me. I worked in industries. I'm a survivor. Hey, look, that's my email address there, sasha@sassylasses.com. If you ever want to reach out to me, you want to know more about me, go to my website, sassylasses.com. Boom. Need chat, need support, heck, hit me up. And for anybody who does stick around to the end, I will be giving you my cell phone number. You can text me if you need a hand. I'm all about supporting others just like me. So I think that's pretty well good for that. All right. So let's talk about today what I found to be the really three big things to startup success. And I mean, it's stuff that I've learned in my travels, but we're also going to be delving into some pro tips. So tips from people that I know, I connect with, I sometimes even work with, and they're all part of an amazing group of people. I can't help myself. I got to shout out Shank Vines because who wouldn't? Peter Shankman runs an amazing group, and we found some really amazing content and some great support there. So nonetheless, that's our Startup Pro Tips. We're also going to hit you with some amazing information behind your core values, one of the biggest driving factors behind your brand. It really does speak through everything, but we'll get to that. And finally, your brand. Because what would you be, and what would your company be, and what would your image be without your brand? People remember McDonald's because of their golden arches, but it's a lot of other things too. So let's jump right in. And you know, I'm really excited for this, guys. I just wanted to let you know that, because I think this is going to be a whole lot of fun. All right, so first things first. I want to talk about knowing your audience. Now, I'm sure you've heard this 1.5 billion times. Everybody says, know your audience, but what does that really mean? Now, I've been working with Miriam. Miriam, she is a fantastic person. She does social media strategy. She's kept careers. We're even going to be putting out a new logo for her. Oh, just beautiful. Nonetheless, she says what you need to do is you need to know their interests, what compels them, how you can help them, and also where they spend their time. Now, it's important to know where they spend their time, because that's where you're going to target, you're going to talk to them. That's where you're going to find them. If they're not spending their time on Twitter, why would you be using Twitter? It's all about knowing your audience. And what compels them to take action? Well, heck, we all need to know this for just about any reason. Compelling someone to take action is a way to get them to actually do something. And it gets harder and harder and harder because, I mean, let's face it, saturation, media everywhere, marketing everywhere. So you need to know your customer. You need to know what compels them so that what they can do, of course, is come to you. You want them to come to you. So, love Miriam. That's our number one pro tip. Let's jump into the next one. Now, I had the pleasure of working with both of these lovely individuals. They are absolutely fantastic. And you know what? They bring up a great point. You need to find your routine and you need to set your boundaries. You need to structure for you because you're the powerhouse, you're the money, you're the brand, you are where the work is going to come from. So you need to take care of that. It's so easy to forget yourself in the shuffle. So like Greg says from Apogee, he says, find a routine. Put your shoes on every day. Remember to stand up and move once an hour. Admittedly not my strong suit, but hey, turn off your phone at night. Everybody has things and routines that will help them stay consistent. When you're working for yourself, especially like me, when you're working from home, you need to be able to figure out how to structure your time and encourage yourself to constantly put yourself out there. You got to stay on a schedule, otherwise the work doesn't get done. You're not going to have Joe Schmo boss hanging over your shoulder. When's that coming? Your deadline's due. All you're going to have is your own routines and your own driving force. So very, very important. For me, routines, I definitely like my daily shower. I'm not nearly as functional without it, but I also like to take a little bit of time first thing in the morning and kind of watch something to wake my brain up. So everybody's got something. And I mean, Greg says, find yours, and I agree. Ellen also brings up a fantastic point too. The reason that I put Ellen in here is because really it's not just structuring and finding that routine. You actually have to keep to it. I know. It sounds easy, but it's not. At least not for some of us. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you've got a lot on the go, it gets harder and harder and harder to set those boundaries on your time. You need to be able to say, I work on these things at these times and these things at these times, and everything else can wait. If you constantly jump and change your plans whenever something comes up, you're going to be hindering your own time and hindering what you can give to your clients. So just make sure that you're being aware that not only is the routine needed, but you need those boundaries to go along with it. Now, apparently we want to talk a little bit more about this as well. Now, it's a slightly different version of finding those boundaries, but it's all about, well, don't run out of money. You want to make sure that what you're putting in place for yourself is going to work, right? Not everybody's going to have the kind of thing to start up and make millions right away. We all want that. Of course we do. But I'm not going to fill you with big dreams and things that may not happen. Your startup might not be the same speed as someone else's startup. If you're a single mom, you're not going to have as much time to dedicate to it as maybe someone like me who, I mean, geez, I just have a herd full of furries and an amazing husband. So it just depends on what you are capable of. If you are at all concerned that money could be an issue, you don't want to put yourself or your business in jeopardy. You want to make sure that you have a sufficient reserve of funds to fall back on. That way, no matter what, you're not going to lose your business or lose that drive and motivation because of money troubles. Now, I know you've probably heard this, but money is one of the biggest reasons for divorce. It's also one of the biggest reasons that businesses don't keep going. So guys, I don't want to see that for you. Make sure that you're managing your money and your expectations and that you are always getting yourself to a place where you're going to be able to survive and continue. I mean, as long as you have that, you can always find more clients. Okay, I gotta say, I work with Margaret on a regular basis. She is amazing. If you guys ever want some, I mean, bar none design work, I mean, yeah, I'm good, but she's just fantastic. She works on apps and websites. Nonetheless, I really, really love what she brings to the table here because what she says imitates what I teach on a regular basis. You need to be able to expect that you will make mistakes. You're human. I hate to break that to you. You're human. Heck, I'm human. And that's the thing about it, right? If you're human, you're going to make mistakes. There's just no way around it. You don't want to be a computer. Computers, while flawless, can't understand the nature of change, and you can. So embrace your mistakes because a mistake will lead to something better next time. Own up to it. I made that mistake, but here's what I'm going to do to fix it. You're going to learn tons. The only thing I don't want you to do, don't break your own heart if you make a boo-boo. I've ummed a few times. I've stuttered a few times during this webinar. I'm sure I've even been slightly more flaily than I intended to be a few times. But you know what? I'm human. and I'm going to make mistakes. And I'm so proud of the fact that I'm sitting here and I'm getting to do this with all of you, and I'm getting to share this information, because I mean, that's really the core of it. So I'm not going to beat myself up for the couple of little slip-ups I'm going to have here or there. Promise. So again, might sound trite, but understand that you'll make mistakes. Now let's move into core values. Okay, so sure, everyone has them. Everybody knows what they are, or, well, do they? Do you know how they affect your business? Because that's also really, really important. Core values essentially are who you are. It's your philosophy, your raison d'etre. It's everything. It's your ability to be truthful, respectful. It's your character. And that has to speak through your brand if you really want to make a connection with people. Now, we just recently did a blog post on sassylasses.com about integrity, because integrity is my core value. It's what I base this business on. It's what I'm basing this webinar on. It's what I base life on, is that integrity to who I am. So for me, that's a core value, and I speak that through my brand. Other people might have something different. You might be one of those people that believes 100% truth in all things. The truth is the important factor, and that's awesome. I mean, that's a great core value, and I mean, truth is definitely still in my pocket, but let's be fair. I mean, everybody's going to have a slightly different take, but your core values are what's going to give people a reason to connect with you. You're going to be far more likely to connect with someone and connect with a company that mimics your own values than you are with Joe Schmo down the street who's doing things that aren't necessarily on the up and up. That connection is what leads people to selling and to buying and to doing. That connection is what makes them want to keep talking to you and working with you. So you really got to make sure that you're investing in that connection. Using your core values also means you're integrating it into everything that you do. It's really, really, really good for a company to say that they value their employees. I mean, heck, we've probably all heard it from an employer of our own at some point. Oh, we value you so much, and our employees are everything, and then their actions happen. And those actions, well, those actions aren't exactly what they said that they should be. That is dichotomous. That doesn't lead you to anywhere that's going to be successful. Now, if you have a company, or I mean, heck, even me, I'm 100% for employee appreciation, let me tell you. And so I say, I will appreciate you. I do appreciate you in everything that you do. And you know what? I prove that. I'm sharing my workers' work all the time. I'm ranting and raving to everybody that I can possibly find about them. I care and I value them. And you know what? They give me their best. I give them theirs. So fantastic thing to do is to find your core values. I mean, really dig deep. Now, my trick with that is really just to spend a little bit of time going through some basic moral situations, and how you answer is your core values. Build off of that. If you need a hand with this, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you find your core values for your business.
Hey, Sasha, I've got a question.
Yes,
with regards to the core values, do they differ between, my values as a person and my values as a company, or should they be the same thing?
Well, you know what? That is an absolutely fantastic question, Reese, and I'm really, really glad you asked that, because I know that there's others out there that think the same thing. Now, you have to decide what's going to be best for you. If you feel that your company has a different mission statement, a different core value than you personally, I mean, that's all right. Me, I found a lot of success with mimicking the two. My core values and my business core values run right along the same parallel. I find it easier to brand and easier to represent that brand because it's true to my core. So yes, you could do either or. It's going to be what's best for you. But remember that if you're doing differently to what your natural core values are, you're going to have a harder time staying and working with that within your brand.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it sure does. Thanks.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to take a quick moment to show you a couple of others that do use different values. So these are all very popular values, companies with very popular statements. So, I mean, look at someone like Molson Coors. Maybe not your mainstream core values, but they've literally developed an entire code of conduct around living the brew. Now, I'm sure somebody here at least has had a beer or two, and I'm sure you've seen the Molson Coors commercials. That comes through in everything that they do. So living the brew makes perfect sense. You look at something like Build-A-Bear Workshop. I am sorry, I had to plug them. I love Build-A-Bear. But Reach, Learn, Diversity, Collaborate. I love it. But it's again, very bear-centric because that's the core of their value. But it really reaches out to that, what they want to do with it. They want to reach the children. They want to teach them. They want to enhance that culture. So as you can see, a lot of really, really, really great things, right? All fantastic. And all of these guys put their core values in line with what they believe and who they really are. So let's talk about branding here just a little bit because, well, I promised you only 30 minutes. We're going to keep in time. Promise. So branding. I'm sure you've seen this in my posts. I'm sure you've heard it from me, and I'm sure you're going to hear it again. More than just a logo. Logos are nice. Logos are pretty. I like logos. I make logos. Logos are fantastic. Logos are not everything. Logos are just that. They're one image, or sometimes two or three, depending on how you do it. But branding is everything that you do, not just the look and feel. So this is why we talked about the core values. This is why we talked about some of those top tips, because branding is really a representation of you as your company. That's what it is. And it's in everything that you do. The way that you respond to a comment online. Somebody, oh, I think your post sucks. Well, guess what? Hate is gonna hate. And if you're getting hate, is you're doing something right. But what it comes down to at the end of the day is that you don't want to go in there and, I hate you, you're so, because it's not going to do you any good. That's not going to speak to your brand. Now, if your brand, like mine, is all about integrity, I'm going on there, hey, I'm so sorry you're dealing with this, and I'd definitely be happy to work through it. Let's connect offline. Let's work through this problem because that's who I am. So you have to make sure that when you're commenting, that's part of it too. So yes, the beautiful image. I mean, you can see it on the screen. That looks fantastic. That speaks to a visual brand. If somebody looks at your products, they'll go, yes, I recognize that as the brand. However, it's the things that you do. It's the way that you do them that speaks and upholds the brand. If you don't kind of package it all in together, then you're working against yourself. You want to make it so that no matter what you're doing, whether you're posting on Twitter, whether you're posting on Facebook, whether you're going out to a live event, whether you're doing a conference or something like this, a webinar, you want to make sure that that brand is speaking in everything that you do. Because it is not just about the logo. I mean, if I showed the McDonald's M to somebody from outer space, they're not going to have a clue. Right? I mean, really, think about that for a second. If you came from another planet and you looked at the McDonald's M, what would you think? Think about that for a second. So it's not just the logo. Heck, you come from outer space. You're somebody who was trapped in a bomb shelter for 50 years. I don't know. Apparently, I watch too much sci-fi. But let's say you are. First thing that you see is somebody's website. Well, okay, that's going to give an image. Is it going to give the brand? Right? No, it's not. It's in everything that you do. It is not build it and set it up and forget about it. It's in everything that you do. I cannot stress this enough. So while I don't want you to feel pressured, I just want you to be mindful that those interactions all lead to the same thing. And by having consistent messaging everywhere that a user sees you, that's how they're going to lead to trust you. That's how they're going to want to work with you. That's why they're going to start to buy. So those are kind of the key factors that you have to consider when getting your business up and running. The logistics, heck, you can find 150 different resources for that, and you can find anything, but I wanted to make sure that you understood the correlation, because a lot of people, they're like, wow, how come people don't remember my company? How come they don't remember me? And it's because we need to make that image consistent and frequent. They're saying now that it takes up to 7 times for somebody to see your information and see what you do and absorb it before they'll even click or buy. 7 times. That's an average. Can you imagine? Now, I'm just going to tell you a little truth. I'm one of those people that won't click on much of anything ever. This is probably why I do this. And whenever I'm working with clients, I always think, well, what would get my attention? Because let's be fair, That's hard to do. So it really does come down to absolutely everything. And I'm more likely to click on something after I've seen it here and I've seen it there. Oh, you know, I've seen them a lot of places. Let's check them out. So just keep that in mind. It's everywhere. It's in everything that you do. So talking a little bit more about McDonald's and talking a little bit more about the logo. So it is important to have a logo, guys. Just so that you know that you want it to be these 5 things: describable, memorable, effective with or without color. It's got to be scalable, so make it bigger, make it smaller, looks good no matter what you do. And it has to be relevant to the industry in question. Coca-Cola, absolutely fantastic. When it first came out, probably not so relevant. They had to do a lot of work to make it relevant. Something like MasterCard, okay, a little bit more. McDonald's, okay, same kind of deal, but these are all very describable. They're all very memorable, and they are all relevant to their own industries in their own way. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you about what makes a good logo. But remember, it is not the be-all, end-all, and you'll probably update it once, twice, 10 times over the course of your career. It is just what you do.
So one other question that we got with regards to the logo or the branding, which should come first? Should your brand come first and then the logo, or should the logo come and then the branding around that?
Great question, and thank you so much for that too. The brand, and the reason I say that is because the brand is like the heart. You can't really build anything outside of it without having that core internal system. So the brand is what dictates what everything else is going to be. And your brand is also partially going to be working on knowing your audience as well. So you should be starting by building your brand and building who you are and what you're going to be and where you're going to go before you work on the aesthetics, your logo.
Okay.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
Awesome. So websites. I'm going to take just a minute or two to break into this because for the love of gosh, I really got to. It's got to look good, but guys, it's got to be mobile friendly. If you learn nothing else from this other than branding, mobile friendly, mobile friendly, mobile friendly. I know that there are some people watching this right now on their cell phones. Mobile friendly. So make sure that your website is giving your customers what they want. Okay, so it's got to be what they want. It's got to be clear, concise, and easy. Okay, you got to make sure that you have a mobile friendly site because Google will penalize you and you will not show up in as many searches. Just saying. Finally, you're gonna lose business, guys. Mobile or lose business, just the way it is. If somebody goes and they pull it up on their phone and they can't get something to load, they're not gonna wait to make it work. You guys know this. You're all out there. You've all done it. X done. So my 2 cents. Now, I know I mentioned this right at the beginning, but I'm really going to lay into it now in the last moment or two. Be you, uniquely you, no matter what that is, because again, it's going to be easier to express your message when you are being who you are. Be you. That genuine aspect, that person-to-person connection only really comes out when you're naturally and comfortably you. If you're acting, if you're being something that you're not, you're going to find that people aren't making that connection and you're going to wonder why. So just scale back, go, hey, who am I? Make that shine. I want to see you, not anything else. Just saying. So with your social media, just making sure that you're staying consistent. Consistency means posting generally at the same times every day and posting every day and posting relevant content. It doesn't have to be super fantastic. Doing it is what makes the difference. There's great services out there like paper.li, Paperly. There's other ones like CoSchedule, all sorts of them. But make sure that you're posting consistently. It's that consistency that will draw and maintain users. So I mean, I get over 100% growth month on month with most of my social media platforms just because I post regularly. Not all of it's good, but the other thing I recommend, create a brand guide. So all of that lovely branding stuff that we talked about, all of your pretty images, what you're going to say, when you're going to say it, make it a guide, keep it on hand. Before you do anything, refer to it. And this will help present that image quickly and effectively. So mission statements, very, very important. Voice and tone, come on. And message type. So making sure that what you are saying and how you are presenting it works with whatever platform you're posting to. Need more on this? Connect with me, send me a message. I'm happy to talk to you about it. So that's it, guys. Oh, dead on 12:30. Woo! Look at me go. So,
Good job.
that's our learning portion of the webinar. Now, I will admit, if you want to stick around, you don't have to, but we've got 3 more slides. You're going to meet my team. I'm going to offer you a little bit more help. And hey, if you have any extra questions, that's what we've got too. So if you are checking out now, thank you so much for stopping in. It's been absolutely lovely. But hey, why don't you meet my team? So I really wanted to take a second to acknowledge, well, maybe not myself, because heck, I should be doing it, but Carol, she is my word herder. She makes my words go where I want them to, even when I can't. Love this woman. She's done amazing work on our website. She's doing our blog posts consistently. Fantastic. Please go check it out, sassylasses.com. Now I've got Cherise Green from Reese Green Consulting. Actually, she's the one you keep hearing. She is my co-host today. And I cannot say enough amazing about this woman. I've known her for several months. We've worked on this. She has worked so tirelessly for me. And guys, if you need some assistance setting up your funnels, stuff like that, gosh, reach out to her. Reese, please tell them how they can reach you.
Okay, so you can actually reach me at Reese at Reese Green Consulting, and just kind of as a small plug, if you don't mind, Kina and I, who Sasha will talk about, well, actually we're in the process of developing a joint venture network, so look out for that.
Which I'm hoping I'll get free access, or at least first access to. Nonetheless, and that does mention Sakina Brown. She is with JV Liaison. She has been the other portion of our webinar setup. She is just brilliant. I absolutely love her overall vision. She's very structured. If you need somebody to keep your butt in line, like I did, that would be Sakina and Cherise. Get these two the power team. They'll help you out. So that's us. Now, if you need to get in touch, a couple of different things. You can reach out info@Sassy Lasses or just Sasha@SassyLasses.com. Either way, I will respond. Won't lie, guys. Like everybody else, I'm glued to my phone. So the web address is just SassyLasses.com, and it is LASSES. Yes, it is a play on lassies. No, I am not Scottish. But finally, in the bottom right corner there, well, I hope it's right for you, you're going to see we've got our toll-free, so feel free to use it at any time, but you're also going to see my cell phone number. Love you guys. Text me anytime. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't pick up the phone very often. I don't like to talk on the phone because I do things like this, and this sucks all of my hyper energy out. But I'm more than happy to text with you. I'm more than happy to email with you. If you have any questions about any of this at all, and you can also go on my website. It's, again, SassyLasses.com. There's a little schedule button, and you could just schedule some free time with me. I'm totally okay with that. I'm here to support you. So, last slide, and it's our Q&A and my nice little thank you image, because I just love to create things. So are there any questions, anything I can answer?
So actually, we don't have any questions right now, but you guys, if you have questions after, after the webinar, you can definitely post them to the page. You can, like Sasha said, you can text her, and you can reach out to me anyway, and we'll get back to you all.
Exactly. We will never leave you hanging. And of course, please come and follow the blog. We've always got great content. We're going to be doing some more webinars soon. We've got some awesome stuff coming down the pipe. So please keep in touch. And thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope you all have a fantastic day.